Hello, my name is Professor Johnson, and today I will be finding the equation of the line in slope-intercept form that goes through the point -1, -2, and is parallel to the line 5x plus 4y equals 7. Okay, so a few things. 5x plus 4y equals 7, that is given to us in standard form. We are going to be looking for a line that is parallel to that line written in standard form. But our line, we want to make sure our line crosses through the point -1, -2. So let's begin. The first thing we should always do to find these types of problems is we need slope. Slope is the most important value that we can find to help us make an equation of the line. So we need to use this standard form equation that's given to help us find the parallel slope. Okay, and slope will be represented as m. So looking at this, 5x plus 4y equals 7. What we need to do is rewrite this into slope-intercept form. And you must be familiar with slope-intercept. It's y equals mx plus b. M will be your slope, and this b value will actually be used in the coordinate 0, b. That relates to the y-intercept. And I'll put y-int so I don't have to rewrite intercept every time. We need to move the 5x away from whatever is multiplied by the y. So we get 4y equals -5x plus 7. But we're not quite done. We need to divide by 4. And when you divide by 4, you divide everything by 4. Now let's take a look at the right-hand side. It looks a bit funny. A rule that you can remember, I'll write it down here. If you have an a plus a b all divided by a c, you could rewrite that as a over c plus b over c. So we're all divided by 4. What we could do is rewrite this as -5x divided by 4 plus 7 over 4. And that makes it much nicer to look at. Okay, look at the slope. The slope is what's in the leading coefficient in front of the x. So our slope will be -5/4. Now this is the slope for this line. We want to think about what is the slope when you have parallel lines. What is the slope when you have parallel lines? And what you could imagine, so imagine there's a line out in space. You want to make something parallel to it. Slope represents rise over run. So rise over run, rise over run. If they're parallel, they have the same slope. They have the same slope. But what might be different is their y-intercept. So they have different y-intercepts. Okay. They have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. So I am going to keep this same slope, -5/4. And we're going to have to find the different y-intercept for our new line. Okay. We know that this line, 5x plus 4y equals 7, has a y-intercept 0, 7/4. But that will not be true in the new equation of the line that we will create. So over here, I'm just going to mark this off. That was our side work to get our slope of -5/4. And that is true because we're having parallel lines. Now we need to use this point. This is where this comes into play. Notice we did all that work and we haven't even touched the point -1, -2. I'm going to slide over here. We're going to think just about this. So we have a slope and we have a point. And what we know is this form, y equals mx plus b. We know this. Do we know the y coordinate of the y-intercept, the b? No, we do not. And do we know the slope? We do know the slope. So I'm going to rewrite the slope into here, -5/4. Okay, but we just stated we do not know the b. But you can imagine we have an x and a y given to us, right? I am going to place the x, -1, in place of x, and I'll place -2 in place of y. And let's just rewrite that. Left-hand side, -2. Going to the right-hand side, a negative times a negative would make a positive 5/4. And then you have a plus b. Okay, but we're working on getting b alone. What do you need to do to both sides? You need to subtract 5/4, subtract 5/4 to both sides. Now you will get -2 minus 5/4 equals b. And what do I do now? Looking at this, we need to create a common denominator. How can I create a common denominator? 1 and 4. Well, we're going to have to use the 4. So I'll multiply by 4. I'll move that. 4 divided by 4 multiplied through would give you a -8/4 minus 5/4 equals b. And moving right along, we can clean that right up. The negative and negative can come together. It's really like adding 8 and 5, but you have a -13, and you're dividing by 4 still, equals b. But can you reduce that? No. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that b, and I'm going to use that in the form that I know. So y equals, and you already know the slope, x just placed there, and then we could put in place of the b 13/4. Now let's look back and see if we solved our question. Looking back, we found an equation of a line in slope-intercept form that goes through the point and is parallel to that. Now we know it's parallel because the slopes are the same, and we have a different y-intercept. It goes through that point, -1, 2. We have confirmed that. So we are happy. But I'm going to show an extra way to do this. A different way to do this would be what's called point slope form. And as a reminder of point slope form, point slope is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. And let's pretend that we're starting all over. Let's pretend that we only knew that the slope was -5/4, and let's pretend we only knew the ordered pair -1, -2 from earlier. Now, let's plug in what we know. And I'm going to treat this as x1, y1 now, which is just like how I treated it earlier, but I just called it x and y without the 1s. The 1 is just letting me know I'm plugging in a value. So now we have y minus -2 equals m. I can replace the m, the -5/4. I'll place my x back in, and then we have subtraction, but we're subtracting a negative, so we'll keep that organized. What happens when you have a negative and a negative together? Well, really, it's a positive. And then even on the right hand side, x plus the 1. Now we have to keep going, but we need to distribute in order to make any more progress. So -5/4 times x, and then over here -5/4 times 1 would still be itself. And the very last step, what we need to do, we need to subtract by 2, and then we'll get our final answer. But doesn't this look familiar? Y equals -5/4 x minus 5/4 minus 2. that should look familiar because earlier we had -5/4. Let me circle it. -5/4 minus 2 showed up earlier, right? -5/4 minus 2 showed up directly earlier on. And remember, we made the common denominator. We made a common denominator of 4. So if we had to make a common denominator of 4 here, we have to multiply by 4. And that made 8/4. And that simplified nicely into -13/4. And as you can tell, if I zoom out earlier, this was our solution using slope-intercept form, and this is our solution using point-slope form. It is totally up to you what form you like to use. Everyone has their preference. And thank you for watching my video.